Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I have been seeing so many of my friends post about their new classroom, and so many have moved schools or, like they've moved classrooms or they just have to reset it up, because they make us do that thing where we have to take everything out of the classroom and then re-put it back in the next year so they can clean. And it just got me thinking about this quote about how losers react and leaders anticipate, because you guys are doing it, like, you're leaders. Like, if you're a teacher, you're a leader. And hey, Katie. And you're preparing your classrooms, and it's beautiful and it's amazing, and I know I would obsess over it, and I had all these it was like branding for my classroom, and everybody had a theme. And in doing that, I have a couple questions for you, because I think a lot of times we focus on those things that we need to get done, but we've really had this long summer to kind of relax and decompress and chill, and we're not fully prepared for ourselves in the classroom the next year, right? So, like, our class is ready, but, like, are we ready? Are we certain in ourselves? So I have 3 questions to kind of guide you along to just get your gears turning and thinking about this kind of thing, because this is what I did going into my final year of teaching, and it helped a lot. It was completely, even though the situations were very, very similar, the way that I handled them were completely different, and that's because I had a vision and I knew how I wanted to be in the classroom. Not just like a vision for my kids, or a vision for my classroom, or a vision for my school, or a vision for how I interact with people. Hey, Joe. Hey, Nicole. But, like, truly a vision for who I wanted to become in and outside of the classroom. And that's what shaped my final year, and that's why I felt more fulfilled in myself that year. So my first question for you is, how are you feeling about this year? Are you excited? Like, how exciting is this? Like, you have a whole brand new bunch of kids. I know you're probably, like, on pins and needles waiting for names, because, like, when you get the names of the 25 or however many kids in your classroom, that's what makes it real. So I know you're probably sitting on pins and needles waiting for that. Are you excited about your classroom? Like, do you have something awesome coming up, that, like, a super new theme that you're just totally digging? Are you anxious? Maybe it's your first year teaching. Maybe last year didn't go so well. Maybe it's taken these 3 full months for you to feel like a person again, and you're worried, like, what the fuck? Now I gotta go back into school? Like, I just kind of came back to life, right? Like, I know I've been there for sure. Maybe you're wondering about teacher turnover, because that was always a concern of mine before I entered a school year, based on my first year. Or maybe you're concerned about student turnover, because that was a thing that I worried about too, based on my couple years in Detroit. So just, like, assess, what are you focusing on right now? Because whatever you're focusing on, that's what you're feeling. So if you're focused on the shit that you can't control, then you're going to feel out of control. If you're focused on the shit that you can't control, you're going to feel more certainty, more at ease, a calmer presence, right? And that's what we want to bring to the kids. So that's my first question, is really just think about, like, how are you feeling about this year? Like, assess, like, where are you at right now? Be a little self-aware. That's okay. Take a minute to do that. And my second question, hey, Scotty. And my second question is, thinking about moving forward into this year, who do you want to become this year? And this is kind of an overarching question. This is not a question that is just like, who do you want to become as a teacher? Because sure, like, if you're a teacher, it's part of your identity, it's the gift that you're giving to the world. It's fucking beautiful. I love you for it. Everyone loves you for it, whether they say it or not. And it's easy to, like, break down and compartmentalize the year into, like, the parts of your life. There's this part of your life where you're a teacher, and then there's this part of your life where you're a person. And my question is, how can you integrate those into who you want to become? Who do you want to become as a teacher, but who do you want to become as a person? Like, y'all, you're more than a person up in front of a blackboard. You're more than a person on a band podium. You're more than a person in front of a choir. You're more than a person. Like, who does that, So, like, thinking about who do you want to become, right? Like, thinking about last year. Who did you become last year? Did you become someone who really takes fucking excellent care of their kids? Because I'm betting that you are, right? You're probably someone who loves your kids to pieces, and you just can't seem to give them enough because you love them a lot. That's who I was, and that's okay to be that person. But also, like, the other side of things, like, how are you going to take care of you? What kind of person do you want to become What do you want to focus on moving into the next year? I was the person who, right, so I said like between my third year and my fourth year of teaching, I kind of did this little mini assessment, and I was like, I didn't want to be the teacher anymore who went into school and put on a happy face and came home and was just miserable. I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to be the person who just spent all of my energy in the classroom and came home and was an empty tank. I didn't want to be that person. And the crazy thing is that it's really good timing that I learned to take care of myself in that fourth year, because I went through some really intense personal struggles that year, both in a relationship and with my dog. And they were really freaking hard. They were really freaking hard to go through. And had I spent every ounce of my energy in that building, I honestly don't know where I'd be. I don't know if I would be coaching right now. I don't know if I would have the connections I have in my life. Oh my God, I'm going to start crying on Facebook Live again. This is becoming like a pattern. I need to stop it. But if I didn't learn to take care of myself, if I didn't learn to give myself the energy that I needed and to fill my emotional tank, then I would not be sitting in front of you right now making this video. I don't know where I'd be, but it would not be in this good place. And I learned to say no to things so that I could say yes to me. And I learned that leaving school on time, whether or not I was done, was what I needed to do. And when I left school, I left the stuff at school too. So really think about that. Who do you want to become this year? Do you want to become, what kind of teacher do you want to become? And what kind of person, what kind of woman, what kind of man do you want to become? Yeah. And I don't say that to that I was like apathetic, because I wasn't apathetic. My kids learned. They grew, a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it was. They did what they had to do. I did what I had to do. Writing was great. Like they did all the things they had to do, and they learned and they passed and they did an excellent job. But it was about setting boundaries. And when you give yourself boundaries, that's not being apathetic. That's being responsible for your own well-being. And that's so important, because if you're not well, you can't keep giving energy to the kids. So that's my second question for you. And my third question for you is like kind of a tough one. Grit your teeth a little bit. What's it going to cost you if you stay the same? Like, think about that. If you have the same behavior patterns, if you have the same mindset patterns, if you have the same thoughts, if you have the same feelings, if you focus on the same things that you did last year, where's it going to leave you come, next May, June, when you get out of school? Because I noticed at the beginning of the summer, a lot of my teacher friends were getting sick. They're getting sick because they had held on to the stress and the anxiety and everything for so long. And when they let it go, their body reacted. Their body reacted and got really sick and really ill, and that's how they spent some of their summer. And so my question to you is like, really considering these things, how do you feel? How do you feel about school right now? Who do you want to become this next year? If you want to compartmentalize your year like that, the school year and the summer, I get it. That makes sense. But really think about, who do you want to become by the end of the school year? Not just as a teacher, but as like a human being who values herself. And what's it going to cost you if you don't think about it? And what's it going to cost you if you don't make changes? For you, for your family, for your future? Like, what does that look like? Like, really take a second and like close your eyes. If you made the same choices, if you didn't make a change for something, if it didn't go well last year, maybe it went awesome last year and you're ready to like next level. If you're ready to next level, then do that too. What's it going to cost you if you don't progress? Just like really take a second and dig into that and like feel that feeling of like, what's it going to be like if everything stays the same? Because I believe in you. If you're on my feed, like, oh my God, Michelle, these women popping up right now, you're my people. I love you. I believe in you. And I just think if you take a second to journal or think about or talk to someone about those 3 questions, it's really going to help. Okay. Please let me know below any of your thoughts, any of your comments. I love you guys to the end of the earth. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.